All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Making Picks. My name is Nathan here with Mark. What's going on, Mark? How was your week?
Everything's good. I'm kind of really getting into the full holiday spirit. So Christmas season is here. Looks like we have a nice holiday
Yeah,
next week.
yeah,
I'm kind of looking forward. It's exciting, and where you actually get the two NFL games that take place like on Saturday. Now that college football, for all intents and purposes, with the exceptions of the bowl games,
mhm.
are over. Um, really got into the Army Navy game kind of last week, but there's a couple of good games taking place on Saturday, and it looks like we'll have Saturday games for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that they're talking about postponing the Browns game because of COVID? Do you think that actually happens, or are we going to get like a limped in Vegas Raider or Vegas Browns game this weekend?
I do not think that they're going to move the game.
Yeah.
I do think that they have to, and this goes for everybody. I think they have to start lightening up on the restrictions, so to speak. So I don't think we're going to see any more of the days in where if you test the kind of positive, you have to isolate yourself for 10 days. I think as
Okay.
long as you can kind of go ahead and show two negative tests over the course of two consecutive days, I think you're going to be all right. I think it's just
Okay.
part of culture now here, for better or worse here. And I hope everybody is out there kind of staying safe and things like that here. But there's not a doubt in my mind, if you haven't had it at some point in your lifetime, you are going to get COVID.
Mm,
So it's
mm,
just a matter of how prepared, are you for it? I mean, um, obviously the vaccinations are kind of important, or don't get them. I mean, really doesn't make that much difference to me. I think it's a completely personal choice to you, but staying healthy, taking vitamins, making sure that you're trying to get, some type of sunlight on a daily basis while, the weather is still somewhat reasonable here in the Northeast. It's not like we're battling, 20 degrees below weather, but, vitamin D, a lot of water, exercise, healthy kind of, diet, vaccinations, all that stuff here helps you not get as sick as you possibly can sick if you're not doing any of those things. So I
right.
think that's just part of society and what we're dealing with, and it's going to remain that way moving forward for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've
I mean,
kind
I
of
had it. I
dodged
had it last year. So, and trust me, you don't want it. I
right,
mean,
right.
I never felt like I was in a position like, oh my god, I'm gonna freaking drop dead. But it wasn't kind of like the normal flu. So, I mean,
Yeah,
and up until that time, I mean, I thought I was being very kind of cautious. Social distancing with the masks and
right.
things like that, and you know, staying kind of healthy and drinking a lot of water. I mean, you still got it. So I got the natural immunities. I'm also fully vaccinated, and I don't think I'm gonna have a. I'm probably gonna wait like a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna do anything like immediately, but I think at some point I will boost her up.
Mm, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I think we dodged a lot of the major pain points that we saw last year with COVID, with the NFL season. You know, last year was tons of postponed games, canceled games, those kind of things, and this year it's been pretty standard. You know, we've had certain players go out and not be able to play, but it hasn't been like a full team thing. And I think it's just kind of maybe caught up at this point with the new variant like going around. But hopefully this is the last year of, you know, these major issues, and that next year things start looking more normal at
I
least.
mean, realistically, if you tested negative twice over the course of a couple of consecutive days, you're not showing any symptoms, you don't feel bad. Look, dude, let them play.
Right.
Get out there. I mean, what else can you really do kind of at that point? So
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I get it.
Makes sense.
Everybody wants to be cautious, but this is not like a bunch of individuals who are 65-year-old kind of men with underlying conditions here. These are young men in
You
premier
know, yeah.
physical kind of shape here. I I'm going to go out on a limb here that there hasn't been one professional athlete in the history of the world that has dropped dead from COVID. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
hope I'm not proven wrong, but
Yeah, right,
I can't think of a case like that. I mean, obviously, people have gotten sick, and I'm sure people haven't felt well, but I don't feel that this is a circumstance that should be end of the world type of scenarios. There've been
right.
plenty of people who've played with the flu before.
Yeah, some of those people have had the best games of their career.
Michael
Uh,
Jordan played a pretty
yeah,
freaking good basketball game with the flu,
right,
or I
right.
don't know, stomach virus, whatever the hell you kind of like want to call it.
Yeah,
Can you imagine telling him, all right, you know what, you got to freaking isolate yourself for 10 days? You're showing symptoms. It may be COVID. It may not be COVID. He'd tell you to fuck yourself. You'd probably, make you
yeah,
call out the National Guard to prevent him from doing kind of what he's doing here. And I think this is where it needs to kind of go as a society. Just my opinion.
right,
I mean, can we
right.
get
Yep,
canceled for
definitely.
something like that here? I know we're showing up on YouTube and Rumble. I don't think we have any problems with Rumble, but I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I think
Yeah,
did I just get political there?
you might have just gotten canceled. I don't know. I might be in the position where I get canceled for not canceling you. So I don't know.
Nice. All right.
Uh,
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna learn the hard way.
right, exactly. That's the best way to learn, I guess. um, yeah. So what are you looking at for this weekend? Like, are there any games you're keying in on? How are the Giants doing?
I mean,
Um,
wow. I mean, last week here we were pretty freaking excited to see how the Giants and the Lions would kind of like respond, right? And what a freaking utter disaster those things kind of were. So
yeah.
I'm canon on the Giant game. This happens to me kind of every single year, and it's one of the downfalls of being like a season ticket holder. So I'm going to the
Mm,
game on Sunday. I
okay.
don't want to go. I don't want to go to the game, but having like these tickets, nobody freaking kind of wants to go, and I'm down on them. I'm not a happy kind of Giant fan, but I'm not at a point as of yet and where I'm willing to just go ahead and give my tickets away to a Cowboys fan.
Mm,
I'm not I'm not gonna do it. I'm not at that point yet. So
yeah.
it's like, look, we have the tickets. Nobody wants to go. I don't want to go, but we have them. We made the commitment at the beginning of the year. There's only 2 games left. My brother wants to go. My cousin wants to go. We got one
So
other
this is
person who I
interesting.
haven't seen in a while, and he just
Yeah.
invited me to his into his wedding party. He's getting married kind of
Mm,
this spring, so I haven't seen him. So I'm using the game as an excuse to catch up with some family and to see kind of like an old friend. Trust me,
yeah.
it's not because I'm dying to fucking go to that stupid game.
So this is interesting to me because we've had these conversations before where you've kind of told me that I'm not like a true fan of
Did I
my
say that?
team. Like things like that where I'm
Oh, I
like,
said it because you want them to lose,
yeah, because I'd want them to lose or I'm
not
I'm
because you're a
playing
true
for
fan. I
picks.
just think you're a moron and that you're wrong.
Right,
Like I
right.
can't imagine sitting in front of a TV. And as soon as that game starts, no matter whatever shit that I kind of talk, no matter how much I badmouth them, the second the first play is kind of snapped, I
Yeah.
can't root against them. I just can't.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand,
No
seem to
problem.
have no problem in doing so,
But here's the other
which is
thing.
weird to me.
You just described that, you would not want to go and
I
watch that
don't want to
game.
go.
I
I don't.
I'm actually considering, I might have the opportunity to go and see the last game of the year of the Lions versus Green Bay. Think about the level of terrible the team is going to play against the level of awesome, an Aaron Rodgers is. And would you want to go see that game? Like if it was the Giants, I mean, hey, Giants
See,
versus Cowboys. This is
football is
pretty much
different.
the
Like
same
like
game.
like has your wife ever gone to a game before?
Um, I don't believe so. Um, and this would be like all the family getting together, but from a
Oh, then
football
yeah,
perspective.
then I would go.
So,
I would go.
but like from a football perspective, I would be very interested in watching that game in person. Anytime I have tickets, I would enjoy going. I would probably still be rooting. obviously, how do you? I mean, I guess moral victory, or at that point,
That's what I'm
like
saying. Like you're
a
all right,
win
perfectly.
over Green
You're
Bay.
there. You're with your family. You've had a little kind of like tailgate. You know, still kind of like a little holiday season, last game of the year. Yeah, hey, it's been a bum year. Whip out your ticket on your phone or paper, whatever the hell you're kind of going to do. Give it to
Yeah.
the guy scanning the tickets. You're in the building now. You're sitting down in the seat here. Now you're thinking, all right, I'm going to start rooting for the Packers. That doesn't happen. There's no way that
So
happens. You're
I
lying.
think it would be okay. The situation would have to be um, that the Lions win that game, they lose the first round pick. I'm rooting for Packers. But I'm
There is
also
no way in hell. I don't believe you. I just don't.
no 100%, and I would be watching and just being happy to be there and seeing Aaron Rodgers in person, DeAndre or Devontae Adams. You know, I I don't like the Packers. They're a rival within our division,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
what am
they're
I
a
going to do? I'm
good
going to
team.
root for the fucking Cowboys because I want the Giants to get a better pick? It's not happening. They're
I
playing the
mean,
Packers. And plus, I actually think, I mean, I think the Lions have an opportunity to win that game, especially if Green
well, they
Bay
could. Yeah,
is not playing for anything. If they've locked up the number one seed and, Rodgers is.
they don't do that though. Like, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the things that with Rodgers, if it's a division game, specifically with the Lions, he likes you heard
Stick it
him
to him.
in Chicago. I own you. I own you when he beat the Bears to the fans. To the fans, not to the team, to the fans. I own you. He enjoys just brutalizing other people within the division and those fans. And so, like, in that sense, I hate him, but he's a good footballer. And if I had the opportunity to go and watch and see him play, I'd take it because I'm also an NFL fan. And that's
I
probably the
think that's
biggest
where
thing
you and
is
I differ like a little bit here. I don't have any qualms in kind of saying this. I am interested in the NFL. I admire the NFL. I am not an NFL fan. I am
yeah,
a Giants fan, and to me, there's a big like a difference between the two. I'll keep my eye on things just because it's. I mean, it's almost kind of like sacrilege. I mean, you have to watch football on football Sunday, but I'm not
right.
really kind of locked into a game. I'm either waiting for the Giant game to start or I'm commiserating on how fucking badly that they played, or I am kind of on cloud nine because they've won and everything else that kind of happens from there is cream cheese.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that might be the biggest difference between us because for me, like, I can root for another team in the sense of like this year's affinity towards the Rams be- because of
But like
Stafford.
the Sunday night games, I kind of going to watch because we review it, and
Right.
I treat like what we're about to kind of going to do. It's almost like a crossword puzzle. It's you're
Okay.
analyzing things. It's not because I'm really super interested like in the game. Like
Yeah.
the game becomes interested to me because I want to see how it performed on the test.
Right. And this is something for me. The like preseason. I don't really like I watch it but there's like a force that I have to do that's different than in the season. And I think a lot of that comes from, I play fantasy football and I play a lot of fantasy football. And this is kind of where like we got together and
Mhm.
really the history of like everything with us. Um and with fantasy football, you have players on all these different teams. And so you're kind of keeping track of all those teams, how they're doing, how that player's performing and everything. And it becomes this holistic view of the league itself. Whereas and that's what's the driving interest for me to watch all the games and be up on all the information. Whereas like in the preseason, I mean, take out the fact that like it's kind of just practice anyways, but like say it was a mini season at the beginning and whatever, and the games actually counted, the players actually played, but I didn't play fantasy football during it. I would still have the same amount of care about it, you know.
Okay.
And that's something that's shifting with me with my interest because I'm pulling back on fantasy and it's like I know that if I stop playing fantasy football, I would probably turn into closer to like you, where it's just I'm gonna watch the Lions game, and that's pretty much gonna be it. If I catch another game, it'll be because maybe I have interest in the team, or maybe it's a Sunday night game or whatever. Um, and so that's what's really drives me towards betting, because I can kind of keep that same interest of like, let me pick through the different games I know about and make some prop bets, and then it drives me to watch that game and stay up on it. So
Yeah, it's been a couple of years now. I've completely 100% done away with anything preseason kind of football. I might watch it for 30 nanoseconds when the first kind of game's on, just because you're so wrapped up into baseball.
yeah.
It's kind of nice to see uniforms and helmets kind of there, but that's pretty much kind of it. Um, and yeah, I mean, I um I do like to wager. I do kind of gamble, but I literally make maybe 5 bets a year,
Oh, okay.
or like an NFL season, and one I
Yeah.
bet I bet significantly.
Oh, okay. See, I would rather do smaller bets, a lot of them, weekly. And
Correct.
that's what it is. I'll bet $1 on something to happen in a game, and
I'll
that's
get like a
enough to
feeling kind of
drive me to
on a
watch
game.
that game.
Yeah, I'll get like certain feelings. There's certain information, or there's things that will kind of come out, for better or worse here, that will naturally allow me to gravitate to a game. And to be kind of honest with you, most of the games that I bet on are giant games.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I kind of look at it from a perspective, hey, you know what? I understand this specific tendency, and I feel that either, you know, this is, a scenario in where a specific player or a specific unit can perform kind of better. And if I'm wrong, it probably means the Giants are going to lose the game, and I'm going to be pissed off anyway. So, what difference does
Yeah.
it make?
Why not feel like jumping off a bridge after?
Here's a few grand, and then kind of go from there. But other than
Yeah.
that, and I've kind of said this kind of come on before here. I literally, keep my eye out on. I love home teams getting points. So
Yep.
anything that I kind of see something like that. I don't bet on it all the time, but it usually kind of raises an antenna in the back of my head, and I'll take a look at it a little bit more heavily. But
Yep.
things like this, like we talked about before, the Browns and the Raiders with COVID and stuff like that. Here, how anybody bets on that game, I have no kind of no idea. Um,
Yeah, I could see a few things, a few ways of doing it. There
New England
player
come off
props.
of New England come off of bye, 2 weeks to kind of prepare. But the Colts are kind of playing well. That
Yeah.
that warrants some further kind of investigation kind of for me.
True. True. Yeah. No, there's a lot of ways I can find a reason to bet on pretty much any game.
Tennessee
Um,
and Pittsburgh, that's it's pretty interesting.
that's
We'll see.
Pretty interesting one, yeah, for sure. So, well, why don't we get into a little bit? You wanted to talk about definitely you made some improvements on the site since the last
All
time
right, so
we.
we're kind of making kind of strides here. If you want to just go ahead and share your screen here, so anybody who's kind of watching, you'll automatically notice that the sportshost.statementgames.com. We have our base, our foundation of our first kind of white label client in place. So we'll continue to add services and build that aspect of the platform kind of up. And at this point, we're comfortable enough here, and where we've actually reverted back to statementgames.com, our traditional kind of homepage. So you can still find the sports host stuff on sportshost.statementgames.com. It's a little raw, a little kind of bare, but at the same time, we actually now have reverted back to statementgames.com. And, login is pretty simple and easy. I know that you like to log into SG Live, the old fashioned Google button kind of way. So you can see that gets you kind of right in. So the next step after that is to just, let's really kind of figure out what's going on with the app and getting that
Yep.
kind of resolved here. So we have Sports Host, we have statementgames.com. Now we need to complete the trifecta by resolving the current issues that we have with the Statement Games app.
Yeah. But it's good that you've got that one problem, which was actually even affecting us, squashed. That bug was.
Correct. So no more. Hopefully, I mean, if you're still getting a white screen when you log in here, please just give us a comment or reach out to me, marketing@statementgames.com, and let us know kind of what's going on. Any feedback that can be provided on any type of challenges or issues that you're having with the system. It's obviously not something that I want to hear, but you don't understand how valuable that feedback is to us as we continue to build out these services.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So today we're going to be talking about the Sunday night game, New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. And we are in contest one, playing under SG Live. What are you seeing in this game, Mark? Where is Taysom Hill going to go toe to toe with Tom Brady and come out with the win?
um, I'll tell you what, before we actually even get into that here, let's take a step back here. So, just as a
Sure.
quick FYI, because I do have a little bit of a bone to pick,
Okay.
because we set all these particular rules, and the rules are simple. Basically, if you drop a comment in the comment section below stating what your username is and what your number 10 pick is, you have an opportunity to win a grand prize. Last week it was $100, kind of like cash, right? I'll do the same thing this week here. Follow those same type of instructions here. I'll even beef it up here. I'll go $200 cash because it's holiday season, right? We want to start kind of like get into the season of giving, so to speak, right? So we actually did all right. You and I both went two right, one wrong, kind of like a piece for us here. So two up, one down. We're
That's
starting
not bad.
to get into like a little bit of a groove over here, but we did have a user, um, Beefy 1216, went 10 for 10 with their picks, a perfect score of a 55. However, this individual didn't follow any simple instructions or any kind of rules, no kind of like comments, things like that. So missed out on a free $100 cash. So just to kind of show you, it does kind of happen, folks.
Yeah.
Throw kind of win this. So kind of getting back to your original question here, as we kind of break down this game here. I mean, look, the Saints looked good last week, but then again, they played the Jets. I think everybody looks good when they kind of play the Jets. Um, I mean, what can you say about freaking Brady? The guy just keeps doing it. Last week was pretty freaking impressive. Overtime win against the Bills, a divisional game. Now the Saints did go ahead and take on their number. Let's if either of these quarterbacks need to go toe to toe with Brady, it's not looking good for the Saints. So I'm going to say hopefully no. Well, for the
Gotcha.
Saints case, I hope he does. That's I guess my take from a quarterback kind of comparison right off the bat. But we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I mean, Bucks are. I, I don't see them dropping a game to the Saints, and I don't see the Saints coming up and being able to play at the level of the Bucks. The only possibility would be if Kamara can, cut through and make some very important runs that can, keep the game moving. And I do not like the Saints defense to hold back Brady. So either this is going to be a Saints running back game, and to keep them in line with Brady, or Saints are going to fall apart and Brady's going to just have his way. So that's kind of where I'm at. But what do you want to kick us off with your first pick there, Mark?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, look, I mean, Brady's obviously a machine, but you know what? Gronkowski's actually been playing kind of really well as well. So the first thing that I'm kind of taking a look at here, I do kind of see the effort by Tampa Bay to try and get out early. I mean, this guy is always kind of a factor in the equation here. I'm also getting Cameron Brate as well in the equation here. So I'm just looking at 42.5 here. So I'm going to take Gronkowski plus Cameron Brate over 42.5 receiving yards as my first pick.
Nice. There you go. All right. I'm actually going to kick it off pretty quick here on the defensive side, and I like the Buccaneers defense. Last year, they kind of really came together and put on a clinic in the Super Bowl. And, they all came back this year and they've been playing really well. And so in this game, I really see the over for 2.5 turnovers between fumbles and interceptions. I think that's happening for sure. What do you
I
got
can
for
kind
us?
of see that. I mean, basically, all right. I mean, these teams are fairly familiar with one another here, so all right.
Yeah.
Not a bad pick. Not necessarily my favorite, but I don't disagree with it. So we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to stick in the defensive kind of category. I mean,
Ooh,
this guy just doesn't get freaking kind of sacked here. So to think that the Saints are going to sack Brady over 2.5 times, I just don't see it.
yeah.
Guy gets rid of the ball too quick here. They're going to get up potentially by, or I guess their game plan is to get up by a bunch of points and kind of ultimately coast in the third, fourth quarter. So I'll take the Saints under 2.5 sacks.
Yeah, I think it'd be very difficult for them to get 3 sacks on Brady over the course of that game. That's just, I mean, Cameron Jordan is coming back, so they are getting quality help on the defensive end position, but still Brady's just he's Tom Brady. He gets the ball out, he doesn't hold on to it, and it'll be very difficult for them to get home
Yeah,
and
I think a little bit
take it out.
more of a challenge would have been if we had set the line to, um, I don't know. I think 1.5 may have made a lot more sense for this specific game. To be honest with you, I think 2.5
Yeah,
is
one
just too
and a
much. Two,
half.
1.5, two, 2.5. No way.
Yeah, right. I could see them getting one for sure. Just because that's like a running back half a touchdown. Like that's a 50-50 shot.
I
It'll
mean, maybe if Tampa Bay blows them out, they sit Brady in the fourth quarter, and but at that point here, why would you be throwing the ball
but it's
anyway?
the
So
it's
I
the
don't know.
line.
Yeah,
It's the offensive line that's really going to be holding off. And I think that Brady, he'll take a sack. Like that'll happen once. I just don't see it more than that. And definitely not 3 times unless it's some amazing defense that's and their coverage sacks. So I'm gonna switch over here. Oh, okay. So I actually really like this line. Alvin Kamara over half a touchdown. I
yep,
do
I
like to
like it too.
key in on those half touchdown um, picks, but with it being Alvin Kamara, I think it's just going to be very important that he gets the ball and is marching down the field. So I think he's and in the red zone. Like, why would you not give it to Kamara?
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
So what do you got for us?
So last one for me. I'm actually going to go back to the well. I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did last week for the same reasons that I did it last week. Just divisional game, familiarity. Now, I was looking good for a while in that Chicago Green Bay game here, getting 11.5 points. I mean, Chicago was winning freaking the game at the half.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing as last week here. So go to the game category. Give me Tampa Bay will not win by over 11.5 points. Let's take that and let's also drag that down into the number 1 or 2 slot. I like the pick. I'm not 100% confident in it,
Yeah.
but I want to. I just want to give it another shot. Let's see kind of what happens.
All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that one's a tough one. Um, but I will be on. I think it's the same thing as the 2.5 turnovers where you were like, I can agree. I don't necessarily like it completely, but
Okay.
I'm on board. Let's see. I
It's 11 and a
wanna.
half points. I mean, New Orleans is still in some type of playoff hunt. Um, Again, it's the Jets, but they won by a gazillion points last week against the Jets. They broke what was it? Was it a 4 game or a 5 game a losing streak? They've already beaten Tampa Bay
Mhm.
once. I mean, and I'm getting an 11.5 points here. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah,
a shot on it.
yeah. There you go. That's That works for me. Let's see what I want. I like that line for Brady is it's a good line. That is a very good line at
I was
295.
looking at that too.
That is and even the touchdown passes. Like I don't necessarily know that he gets 3 because you do have the running backs are good there and he could get into the red zone and just rely on those running backs. I don't know if I see anything there I like. 46 and a half, I feel like is a little bit low for the total points. I think that's where I'm going to key in on. And especially at the 5 point, I like it to not be a super priority. Um, I think that if the Saints don't keep up, Brady can run away with this. And then they still have some garbage time touchdowns to, get over this 46 and a half line. And I think that they could put up, 14 to maybe 21 total points over the course of the game. Yeah, so I think I like that right there. 46 and a half, taking the over at the five spot. So that
There you go.
there it is. We'll keep the last 4 off air to retain some competitive advantage. Just know that if you're playing in contest 1 of the Sunday night game, New Orleans versus Tampa Bay, that you might see us SG Live and know that you're playing against myself and Mark. And Mark has come to the table with an offer. If you leave a comment below this video, and obviously he has very specific parameters for that, and go 10 for 10 with your picks, he has an offer. You go into detail again on exactly what they want to do, what they have to do to win, because I don't want to misrepresent and cause an issue. So
You got
um yeah, so what is it, they have to give their username, their top pick.
yeah, the number 10 pick. And and just also keep in mind that it's your first entry only.
Yeah,
So you can play as many contests as you possibly could get your hands kind of on. However, if you're playing multiple contests, we're just looking at your first entry. So comment in the comment section, username, top 10 pick. Obviously, subscribe to the Statement Games channel on YouTube or Rumble and give the video a thumbs up.
awesome. Very good. Okay, well, for everyone out there, make sure that you are following Statement Games at Statement Games on all social medias. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Statement Games Inc., and as well play Statement Games, statementgames.com, or on your mobile device. And with that, we'll see you next week there, Mark, and come back with
Yep. See
we're
you
getting
next
close
week.
to the end of the regular season, and soon we'll be doing
Actually,
these
we have
for
to. I mean, we can take this up offline, but next Saturday is Christmas, right? Or is it Sunday? When is
Saturday is
Christmas Eve?
Christmas. Yeah, Christmas
Saturday
Eve
is
is,
Christmas. Friday, so Friday is Christmas Eve.
yes. Yeah, we'll have to figure out our
We'll have to
plans
figure
for
out
that
if we
one.
want to do one early or if we want to knock one out pretty quickly on Christmas Eve. I was going to say because I was just for some reason I thought, wow, I thought Christmas was on a Sunday. And if that was the case, would there actually even be a Sunday night game? But I guess there will be. We'll see.
Yeah,
We
we
got
will
time to
figure
figure
all
it out.
that out and do that offline. But for everyone else, see ya, and we'll have more content soon.
Happy holidays, everyone. Talk to you soon.